Mangione's not guilty plea comes as U.S. prosecutors formally filed their intent to seek the death penalty in this case. Here with the Reed criminal defense attorney, Brian Claypool. Brian, good to see you on this Saturday. Thank you for being here. So we're waiting to hear from the defense on this. They're going to argue against the death penalty in this federal case. Where do you see this going?
Hey, Alicia, always great to be with you. Yeah, I've got news for Mangione's lawyer. This isn't a political stunt. This is called moral dignity. Pam Bondi has every right under the law to seek the death penalty in this case. It falls flat under the law where he allegedly used a firearm to murder somebody else. And then another reason why Bondi's going forward with the death penalty is because what you just showed on the screen, that what Mangione was saying, he's trying to break down the entire health industry. And that's another aggravating factor why Bondi's bringing the death penalty. And bad news for Mangione again is he had a short window of opportunity, Alicia, where he could have gone with a defense of diminished capacity, right? You mentioned that he was having issues with his back. He was depressed. He could have argued that, and then maybe he's got a better shot at not getting the death penalty. But this guy has gone forward. His lawyers have made him seem lucid, and I don't think they're going to win trying to throw out the death penalty.
So let's bring this back just to the trial itself. There's a state and a federal trial. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That's the way things work here. There is also an incredible amount of evidence here, videos, images, a journal. What's the defense's play here?
Yeah, Alicia, that's exactly what I was talking about. Their play in this case, if I was representing Mangione, I would have argued diminished capacity. What does that mean? If you have a mental health issue that really defeats your ability in your mind to carry out the intent to kill someone. It's used a lot in murder trials where defendants have mental health issues. If I repped him, I would have put him right away when he was arrested. I would have had him see a psychiatrist, go on a 30-day hold, be interviewed by a psychiatrist, and then use that defense. Hey, look, I had this injury. I couldn't get better. I didn't want to live anymore. That's why I did this. His lawyers didn't do that. So I think the only defense they're banking on here is sympathy. And they're going to try to get a couple of rogue jurors, like you just heard somebody say, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you've got shell casings that match his gun, and you've got videotape as well.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So to another high-profile case here. A judge has ruled this week that the death penalty is still on the table for Idaho College murder suspect Brian Koberger, despite his attorney's attempt to rule out the punishment over his autism diagnosis. Are you surprised by this decision?
Yeah, not at all. What the judge ruled is the autistic syndrome disorder is not what's called an intellectual disability. Alicia, what happens is if you've got some kind of mental health issue where your IQ is diminished greatly, then that's where the Eighth Amendment comes in with cruel and unusual punishment. But this is a guy who was able to turn off his phone after he allegedly committed these murders. This is a guy that was smirking on an Instagram post the day after. This is a guy that got in his car and drove across the country to Pennsylvania to destroy evidence. So I think this judge weighed that information as well and said, wait a minute, I don't think that the autism actually came and interfered with his ability to carry out these alleged murders.
Right. Okay. And that trial expected to start about in August. Brian Claypool, thank you so much.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.